A lot of teams have brought upgrades to increase brake cooling capacity this weekend, and these upgrades reflect the challenges of the upcoming races of Montreal and Monaco. It's your Canadian Motorsports big sis, Catherine, here to explain F1. So let's get into it. Some of the changes a few teams have made is increasing their brake duct size. Brake ducts help cool F1 brakes because they don't use liquid coolant systems. So instead, we rely on physics. Air flows in through the brake duct and enters the brake disc, which is drilled with many tiny holes to increase surface area and cooling capacity. A good analogy is thinking about AC and how cooled air flows through the vents into the car. And as air moves through the disc, it cools the brakes, just like how the car gets cooled when you turn on the AC. But remember that brake cooling in an F1 car relies on physics. So then we can conclude more airflow and faster airflow leads to more efficient cooling of the brakes. Think about AC on low versus high. And larger brake ducts means that more air is captured and fed into this cooling system. But now we get to the paradox of F1. Everything is a trade-off. The bigger the brake duct, the more negatively it impacts aerodynamic flow around the brakes. So more air means more drag, thus reducing top speeds on straights. And more turbulent air means less downforce and grip through the corners. Too much air can also lead to too much cooling of the brakes, which then affects the tires. And they do need to be at a certain temperature for optimal performance. And making the brake ducts too small is also a problem. This is where you get a phenomenon called fade. The brakes overheat and lose effectiveness because now you have reduced friction between the brake pad and the brake disc. On the straights, drivers want to go as fast as possible for as long as possible. And you want to try your best to slam on the brakes at the very last minute so you can be at maximum speed for a maximum amount of time. But if the brakes aren't braking, drivers have to slow down sooner, and this can cost them valuable time over the course of a race. So there's no real perfect solution because every track has different demands. Montreal is particularly tough on the brakes, but there are also lots of long straights. And Monaco being Monaco, braking is really important there too. But it seems that the general consensus is that the cooling system is worth the aerodynamic compromise over these next two race weekends. And now you know.